why don't you move forward again, because more and more people are coming. When I close my eyes, there are just a few people here, and I open my eyes, the room's overflowing. More people are coming. So to give them time to arrive, you can sing a little more. You know, there's a fable. Once there was a boy, and he was born in a dark cave. And he never went outside of the dark cave. That was all he knew, that was his world. So if he wanted to go anywhere or do anything in the cave, he used to carry a lantern with him. One day, someone came from outside and told him, "Come with me, I'm going to take you outside." He said, "Sure, wait a minute, I'll just get my lantern." That person told him, "Don't worry, you won't need that lantern. Where you're going, you don't need it. Where you're going, light is everywhere. It's self-effulgent. Leave it behind." So in the same way, buddhi, in Sanskrit, buddhi means intelligence. Our material intelligence, which is the light by which we navigate ourselves through the darkness of this material world. It's kind of necessary. If you don't use your intelligence, then you can't go far in this life, in this world. But that intelligence cannot illuminate or help us to navigate through the divine realm, through the transcendental existence. Therefore, in the meditation process we use mantra. Man means mind, material mind and intelligence. And tra means trayate, to deliver. Mantra is that by which we become released from the limitation of our material mind and intelligence. And by pure consciousness, transcend our material experience, our bodily conception of life, the prison in which we find ourselves. Usually a prison cell has 4 walls, but ours has 5. The 5 walls that limit our existence are our material sense perceptions, what we can see, hear, touch, taste and smell. Due to desire to exploit, to taste and experience the world, our consciousness has become locked in to the 5 senses. But in the transcendental realm, there is no spirit of exploitation. There's no spirit of enjoyment. That is the plane of seva. Seva is Sanskrit. The English word has come from this, service. That is the plane of giving. That is the plane of unconditional service and love. So as long as we have the spirit of exploitation and egotistical enjoyment, our consciousness is trapped within the 5 walls of sense perception. And what is outside of that dark world, we don't know. So mantra is there. We let our consciousness, instead of being absorbed in what we can see, touch, taste and smell, we let our consciousness be absorbed in the divine sound of mantra and let go of everything else. And the power of mantra will lift us to a higher plane of consciousness. Because even though you can hear material sounds, but mantra is not a material sound. Just like when you're dreaming. In your dream you can hear things. But after some time in your dream you hear a sound. Beep beep, beep beep, beep beep. It's your alarm clock going off. That's not part of your dream. It's from outside. But somehow that even while you're in the dream you can hear it. And at first you think, what's that? And then you realize, oh, I am asleep. You thought you were awake. You thought you were awake, but actually not. So mantra is like that. It is divine sound from outside the physical realm. Yet we can hear it while we're in our dream state of identifying the self with the body. This body is not the self. This body is only the condensed and solid form of the reactions from all previous karmas. Whatever activities we perform now, in the future the reactions will come and condense in the form of a particular kind of body, male or female, black, white, with particular strengths and weaknesses and talents, or the lack thereof. And the body that we have now is the condensed reaction of previous life's activities as well. But the self is only a passenger, particle of spirit riding upon the karmic machine of the body, experiencing all the reactions. When we identify and think, I am this body, when we don't recognize, I am spirit, but think, I am flesh, this is our dreaming, sleeping state. So by kirtan, by chanting mantra and meditation, either personally and quietly, or loudly and singing with many, then gradually the bodily consciousness, this becomes cleansed away, and Atma, the soul, begins to wake up. And in the Atma, just like in an atom, there's a lot of power. Atom is pretty small, but it's powerful. If you split it, you can blow up the world. So in the Atma, in the soul, there's some hidden power, and that is called, in Sanskrit, Prem, pure love. That love is so powerful that even though God has created millions and millions of planets and universes and is all powerful, that power of Prem in the Atma, in the soul, can even control God. Impossible, unspeakable, astonishing. But that power of love is inside every one of us. So, we'll sing another kirtan. And from the core of your heart, just first let go of everything. Ego is very persistent, very persistent. The first part of our ego tells us, I am the owner. I own. This is my body, my house, my car, my bank balance, my land, my family, or the sense of ownership. Actually, all the atoms in the world, they all existed before we were born, and they'll be there after we die. But in the middle, we grasp, this is mine. But you have to keep moving to the next life, the next life. You cannot own anything. But the ego is there, I am the owner. This is gross. Then the next subtle level of ego is, I am this personality, this persona. In a Greek drama, sometimes the players in the drama, they wear a mask. This mask is called, in Greek, persona. So this personality, who I think I am, this is a mask. It's not you. Some people, they had some bad experience in childhood, so now they're traumatized by something. All of us have had different experiences that shape the way we feel and the way that we react to each other in different situations. But this shape, this feeling, this personality that is developed by karma, this is not you. This is your mask, only persona. All souls are beautiful. All souls are perfect. All souls are talented and wonderful. But the material personality is covering. So if a person can give up, nothing is mine. Nothing, even my own soul is not mine. My soul belongs to Krishna. Soul belongs to God. This personality, this is persona, this is one mask also, I take it off. I am not the owner, I am not the persona, but then some small, another ego is there. Another ego. What is that? That is called, the Sanskrit word for ego is ahankara. Ahankara. I think many of you study yoga, so you know ahankara. Aham in Sanskrit means I am. Aham, I am. And kara means the doer. I am the doer. I am the performer of activities. That is more difficult to understand. But it's a little bit like if a child, sometimes when children play, they like to spin around. And they spin around and round and round and round till they get very dizzy, then they lie on the ground. And then when they lie on the ground, they open their eyes and look, and it seems like all the trees are moving. Everything is spinning around. Actually they are still, but because their mind is moving, then they feel like everything else is moving. So in the same way, because our mind is not still, because we are not experiencing samadhi, the trance of the soul. Samadhi means trance. So the mind is moving, it gives the soul the impression that the soul is moving. When the body and senses are moving, the soul, who is actually only Shakshi, witness, he thinks, I am moving. Perhaps you've been on a train. You know, you sit on a train, you're waiting for the train to pull away. And there's a train waiting next to you as well. So the train next to you starts to move, but you think that your train's moving. And then when it pulls away, you realize you're not going anywhere. Like this relativity. So when through the physical senses of the body, the eyes, and the sense of touch, we experience motion of the body, then because the mind is not still, the soul, who is transcendental, feels, I am moving. In Disney World, they have one ride called Magic Carpet. It's a cinema. This cinema is 360 degrees around. It's all the way. So you can't see anything outside the projection. So there are no seats there. There's just a handrail. So then everyone walks in and they're thinking, what's this handrail for? So then they're looking on the screen, and then they see the front of a carpet. And they look around. It looks like, oh, we're sitting on a carpet. Then the carpet takes off and flies through the sky. And sometimes it goes down over mountains and round corners, and everyone in the room is going, whoa! And they hold on to the handrail, and they're leaning this way and leaning that way, like this. The floor isn't moving. They're not moving. But because they're seeing 360 degrees, the whole environment around them moving, they think they're moving. Hold on, wait, where are we going? This side and that side. So Atma, the soul, is transcendental. But the consciousness is absorbed in the physical body and senses. And we feel like I am doing everything. We perceive everything backwards. Once there was a man, his friend moved the dial on his compass the other way around. And one day he woke up and he took his compass and said, oh my God, the sun's rising in the west today. The sun was in the same place, but his compass was backwards. So our experience is like this. Soul is still. Soul is not moving. But because our point of reference, our ego, we identify with this physical body, we think we are going here and there, and we experience so much mental anxiety and turbulence. So in Bhagavad Gita, in chapter 5, called Karma Sannyasa Yoga, there it is said, Naiva kinchit karomi iti. It means that a person whose consciousness is fixed and steady, they know when they are standing or sitting, when they are walking or talking, when they open or close their eyes or eat, that only the senses of the body are engaged with the objects. But I myself am doing nothing. I am Shakshi. Shakshi means the witness of the movements of material energy. So the next level of ego is called ahankar. To give up the ego that I am the doer of things. I am not the doer. Very often, many very talented people who are considered to have such great genius, like Mozart and others, when they asked, how did you compose the symphony? They say, I don't know. It just all came by itself. and I wrote it down. Many talented persons have that experience, that whatever talent they have, this is not mine, it's just happening to me. So that genius is also humble. Humility is the first step in spiritual life. If humility can come, then we can peep out from behind the covering of ego and see who we really are. So first one should give up the conception, I am the owner, and then the mask, I am this persona, and then, very subtle, I am not the doer of activities. I am only the witness of the unfolding of karmas upon the screen of my mind. Just like when people go to the cinema, they sit down and they look and they watch some movie, and sometimes it makes them laugh, sometimes it makes them cry, sometimes they become excited, sometimes they become angry. But what are they really doing? They're sitting in a dark room staring at a wall. They're just staring at a wall in a dark room, watching light move, but because they're absorbed in and identifying with the colored patterns moving on the wall, so they experience so many emotions. But actually, even they feel fear. But if they would just take their attention, their absorption away from those dancing colors, they'll say, oh, nothing to fear, everything is okay. So in the same way, our consciousness is in a darkness, only watching the movements of material elements and thinking, this is my life, sometimes laughing, sometimes crying. Sometimes we imagine that I'm dying, and afterwards we imagine, and now I'm being born again. But this is only the play of karma, the movement of material energy, and we are Shakshi, the witness. So enlightenment means to come to this level of self-realization. This is the first step, not the end of everything, only the beginning. So the ego that I am the doer, it should be given up also. And then also the ego that I am the seer. Yes, we are Shakshi, witness, but we have not the power to see. We have power to experience what is presented before us. Many people, they believe in logic and reason and science. They don't believe in revelation, that God can reveal anything. But the truth of the matter, everything is revelation. Everything at every moment. We only see what Supreme Personality, Godhead, the ultimate consciousness, is allowing us, presenting before us, allowing us to see. So we are witness, but our powers of vision are not ours. So the ego that I have the power to see, I have the power to know, I have the power to understand, this ego should also be relinquished. Is there anything left? If I'm not the owner, I'm not the persona, I'm not the doer, I'm not the knower, then what is left? Still something is persisting of ego. What is that? I am bhogi. Bhogi means in Sanskrit, enjoyer. You cannot be a yogi if you think you are a bhogi. Bhogi means enjoyer. The spirit of selfish enjoyment is completely contradictory to the principle of divine love. We are not absorbing units. The soul is not a unit that absorbs from its environment and takes and enjoys and tastes, though we feel that we are. The soul is an emanating unit. We exist to give. But in this material world there is scarcity. We think, if I give, then I won't have so much left. But the transcendental principles are not like this. More you give, more you have. Jesus also taught this. He had only 5 loaves of bread and began to distribute. And fed 5,000 people. In the end, when they collected the crumbs, there was more bread than he started with. This is the divine, the transcendental principle. Don't be worried about anything. Give, give, give. more and more will be there. We are not the enjoyers, having a scarcity, a lack, a deficiency. The soul is not deficient in anything that we must take and taste. But when we enjoy, when we identify with the material body, we always need to take, we're lacking something, we need something else. We pursue happiness. If someone is pursuing happiness, it means they lost their soul, because the soul is made of happiness. So don't pursue happiness, stop running after it. Find your soul, you see you are made of happiness. So kirtan, or the chanting of mantra, the meditation music, is act of love, act of devotion, glorifying the Supreme Consciousness. And if we will sing and let go of all these external trappings, then gradually, our divine consciousness awakens. And one can have a direct experience of relationship with the personality of reality. You have a personality, we will have personality, but what about reality? Does reality have a personality? Or is it some just dead electronic force field? What is it? No. Reality also has a personality. And personality can love and have a relationship. And so our task, our quest, our mission in life, our very purpose, our raison d'etre for everyone is to discover the personality of reality and enter into divine loving relationship. Everything is leading to this. Either today or tomorrow, or in 20 years, or in your next life, or the life after that, or 500 lives later, this is your business. One day you have to do it. One day I also have to do it. So let's start today, okay? So sing one more kirtan. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare. Krishna